Namaste everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Guru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai. What should we talk about today? As if we have any other topic. Let's talk about the self. But about the self, nothing can be said. So maybe all that we are doing is talking about how to get rid of the ideas of the non-self. Isn't it? But strangely enough, they're all gone now. In this moment, of the now, there is nothing. So first, shall we invent some trouble and then try to get rid of it? That is why this is called a play. Let's pick up an imagined problem for the imagined entity, the imagined ego. Then let's discover how to be rid of it. Or just enjoy what is. The greatest being in the world is here. Your very existence. But there's a knock on the door. Enjoying our presence. Suddenly, knock, knock, knock. And you know who it is. It is the same guy, the mind. I have something important to say. Leave your presence for a minute. Because this is really important. And all that I'm saying in Satsang is, nothing is more important. It can seem like an exchange. You can never truly exchange your being, of course. But it can seem like we make this exchange of this beautiful presence, the ever-present being, with just a notion that the mind is offering up. It's like you're already vacationing in the most beautiful spot in the world. But this travel agent comes and says, you know, I have brochures for some very beautiful places. Would you like to see? And I know that human curiosity is such that if I say don't see, then it can seem like too difficult. Maybe he had a better place after all. So even look at the brochures, let them come and go. You see where you are and know that there is nothing better than this. Any experience that you might have will just be a moving shadow in the light of your very being. You don't need any fireworks, any excitement. All that can come and go. Empty of concepts of how this should be. The greatness of this is apparent to you. That is why these days I'm not saying so much that it is so simple, so regular, because that has been misunderstood. The discovery is simple. What is discovered is the greatest. But it cannot be captured with your mind. It is beyond concepts and perceptions. But it is not beyond you. That you exist is not a concept for you. It is your living truth. That you are aware of this existence is not a concept for you. It is your reality. And this reality that you are aware is unchanging. If there is an unchanging self, this is it. You don't have to go looking anywhere else. All of you already know that that which appears disappears. That which comes goes. Then what are you waiting for? Something to come? Something to happen? The travel agent is offering you tickets. But where have they got you so far? That which the mind has sold you in the past. What amazing holidays have you had with the mind? Nothing is greater than what already is. How many are still waiting for that special movement, that special experience? Imagine that it has happened. It has come and it has gone. And now you are here. You just had the biggest awakening experience. And now you are here. This being, this here-ness, this isness has not changed. Whatever your previous experiences might have been. Who is here now? What is here now? This is God. This is the self. Hasn't God said, I am that I am? You are that I am. Which is the I? Which is the I that is? Who is? I am. This I is which one? Itamar says actually it's not an exact translation of the Old Testament from Hebrew, but it'll do. Who is the I that is? Gabriel says, even the most intimate body sensations are seen in I am. Do these not aid in the sense of existence? Or can existence stand alone, untouched by any affirmation of its existence? The I amness is the affirmation of the sense of existence. Already, you see, this is already the affirmation of your existence. When we say I am, it needs no other something to exist. And those of you that enjoy some of these contemplations, you can notice what is that which is their first thing in the waking state. What changed when you woke up? All these sensations are coming and going. And you never experience the exact same sensation twice anyway. But the I am is always the same. Your being is unchanging. These sensations are coming and going. Therefore, independent of all sensations, you are. And if this is confusing, ask yourself, can I stop being now? And don't just ask yourself, try to stop being. Don't be. You will taste for yourself the independent nature, the effortless, natural existence. This I am. You are discovering its spaciousness, in which all movements, all appearances come and go. But this space remains untouched. Yeah, some reports. Father, I am the I. That is. Yes. And another one. No one is. Only isness is. It has no I in it. Here-ness is here. No one is here. Father is the experience here. I feel there is no need to relate myself with this isness. It's good enough for now. Because the I has been so much maligned and so much, it has caused so much trouble. That's okay to keep it aside. If you're going to hear something in a untroubled way, if it's going to trouble you, then leave it. But if you're going to hear something in an untroubled way, if you just look at this a little deeper, you see that only the self is, only isness is. You see, I don't want to inject I into this now. See? So before the injecting of the I that could inject or not inject, is that separate from the self itself? You say, I see, I'm not this. 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 I just see. This seeingness, this knowingness, this awareness is your only self, is your only reality. Yes, yes. Itamar wants to come for 30 seconds. It can come for longer also. Unmute one or two. Hello.
Hello, namaste everyone, namaste. I've also, can I be heard?
Yes, yes.
Ah, good. So also when Guruji has spoken about this I am that I am from the Old Testament, so I hope I'm remembering this correctly, but so Moses, the story is when Moses basically in the desert meets the burning bush where the bush is not burnt. And then I think he is giving an elaborate mission, and then he asks, "What do I tell these people? Who sent me?" And the answer is in Hebrew, "Eheye asher eheye." Now, so somehow I am that I am is a bit of a like a taking a multi-dimensional something and flattening it out to something supposedly single dimension. So in common Hebrew, if I ask a child, Mati gadol. What will you be when you be big? He'll say, Ani eheye tayas. I'll be a pilot or I'll be something. So this word eheye has this future thing. So it's hard to describe, but it's I am what I am that I am, but also I'll be whatever I'll be or something. It's difficult to describe, but it's like something's missing in I am that I am in the translation. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Ram is here. Ram wants to say something. Where is Ram? You can speak now, my dear.
Namaste, Father. Namaste, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. Father, I just want to sort of expose a few things. Like I haven't watched your Satsang for a long time, so I don't know the flow, But I just want to speak with something really basic. And so basically, I think I'm kind of doing okay with myself these days. Since I come back from Rishikesh, and kind of sort of meditate and doing some walk, and it was good. Yeah, but actually, these days there was something come up. Actually, I was dating with someone. Like just yesterday, basically, we kind of talk a little bit, and then we met, and after the date, I mean, this is like my very first time, So I mean, there was a lot of things trigger because there was kind of an unconscious fear that for my life, like I have observed like many like relationships, even with the one in the Sangha, where I consider them as someone who is really like smart and and really wise. But when they got into those kind of relationship things, they got like suffering and painful, and it's really sad to see, and there is like a fear in me that I was messed up, like I mean I don't know what to do, but there is like some attraction there, and I just couldn't resist, so I just go for it, and I don't know, I think. And then suddenly I remember you, I mean, you are here always, so I can just find you, and maybe I just want maybe to ask for your blessing, maybe, or maybe you can speak to me something about these things, because it's kind of invading my mind in these days, and I feel it's really strong, and yeah, I just don't want to mess it up, and I'm being open, and I don't know what to do. So yeah, I just want to ask for your blessing, perhaps, and yeah.
It's very
And
good
it's
to
good to see you again, Father.
very, very good to see you again. It's very sweet. The question that you ask is very sweet, and it's very natural for the, what, 18-year-old now? How old are you now? 18 or 19?
No, I'm 22 right now already. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So sweet. So what you have to remember is that relationships mean that mess ups are going to happen. Don't feel
Pardon,
that.
can you say it again?
Yes, yes, my dear. You have to mute when I speak, otherwise it will be a bit broken.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yes. So you said that you have a fear that you hope that you don't mess up. You see, more important is to recognize that as long as it is a phenomenal relationship like this, there are going to be mess ups. You see, mess ups are inevitable, and mess ups will happen from both sides. You see, you have to be very forgiving to yourself, and you have to be forgiving of the other also. You see, because what happens is that when we get into these relationships, there is going to be differences of opinion, different ideas that both of us are carrying. And when ideas are different, in the play of the world, it can seem like some clash can happen because of different ideas. So recognize that this will happen in the relationship between any two people, but it can seem like it is much more strong, much more hurtful, much more difficult when it is in such an intimate, close relationship, like boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband, wife, these kind of relationships. It can seem like it is a lot of suffering, a lot of pain can come because of these. But you have to just be forgiving, allow yourself your mistakes, know that mistakes are going to happen, and don't be too much caught up in trying to be right. Just remember that all of this is conceptual. So actually there is no right or wrong. And most of arguments or trouble in relationships comes because one is trying to prove that they are right and another is trying to say that no, they are right. So don't be so concerned about trying to be right all the time. Allow things to flow. And even if you recognize that there are some wrong notions which your partner might seem to have, wrong perceptions about you or the world, don't be too much in a rush to fix it. You can point them out gently, you can knock gently and see if there's openness to that kind of conversation. And then you can start pointing things out. But also remember that you have to be as open. The more open you are, you will find that even your partner is open to feedback. So all my blessings are there for this relationship and all relationships. And it might sound a bit funny or strange to say, but whatever is the play of this grace, all my blessings are for that. There was one friend who was, of course, much older than you. He was staying with me at one point. So he said to me, Ananta, that when the relationship happened, so much grace was flowing. So much grace was flowing. Everything was grace. But now see where we have come. And I reminded him that everything is grace actually. It is not that grace was flowing only then and now it is stopped. So remember that everything that is happening is grace for both of you. And ultimately all of it is providing you so much opportunity for a recognition of the truth, for your self-inquiry. So as much as you can, it is not 100% possible in any relationship to go completely open, but go as much open as possible. And may your relationship be like the relationship that space can have with space, or air can have with air. You'll find that so much joy will come, even in the apologizing after the messing up. it can feel like, no, I don't want to do that. But you'll find so much sweetness is there. Later, when you look back at relationships, you will see that those moments were also very sweet. So don't worry about not messing up. You are going to. And she is also going to. So these are going to happen. You see? But all your satsang, all your insights about yourself will come in use. Because the ego, the mind will try to use the relationship to convince you that you are an individual and you are right. You see? Many times it will come to convince you that you are right and thereby convincing you that you are a person, that you are an individual. And this is where your satsang will help. Sometimes in moments of anger or moments of high intensity, some angry words will be spoken from either side. You see? It is a part of every relationship. You see? But then when that is gone, when you're back to your spaciousness, then don't hold on to this idea, no, I was right to do that, or she was wrong to do this to me. Be quick to apologize. Be quick to forgive also. I wish you the very best in this new relationship and may it bring so much light into your life. And if you want to speak something more, I'm unmuting your mic.
Okay, Actually, thank you, Father. And I just want to expose like two last thing that it feels like I have like the like some like two like biggest expectations about this kind of thing. That the first one is like I want her to to know about those kind of spirituality things like me, because I mean it is so important for me. And I find myself like living like closet in the corner, and trying to sort of like introduce her to this, but I know that it's really hard because even with my family I can't do it until now. And uh, and along with that is it seems like there is the assumption that I kind of there was a superiority feelings in me, like because I know those kind of things, so I'm kind of higher than everyone because I'm spiritual and stuff. And I just want to speak it out. And also there's a fear of messing up, but also sometimes I see those really nice kind of relationships in the Sangha, and they post it in social medias, and I have the hope that yeah, maybe I can do something different, it doesn't have to be painful all the times. Like I can have a really like sweet relationships like for my whole life, and die like peacefully and recognize the truth together, and it will be so good. And yeah, so those two things, those two kind of expectations is it's really big. And yeah, and I just want to expose it here somehow. Yeah.
This is very good. And I'm going to tell you something that will give you a lot of trouble. I'm going to say something which will save you a lot of trouble. And actually, if someone had told me this when I got married or when I started to become spiritual, and somebody had told me immediately, I feel like a lot of trouble could have been saved here. Of course, I see all of that was also grace. But since you're here now, I will use this opportunity to tell you this. You must be responsive to how open she is in that moment. You see? You must never try to make somebody more spiritual or tell them about something greater that you know. You must have a sense of how much resonance is there. That's why I say that with our loved ones, we must knock very gently. Knock gently and see if there's some, resonance, something is being heard. You see? Now, you heard this probably, but it was a few years ago. What happened here a few years ago was that, many years ago now, of course, was that as I started getting into the inquiry and getting into spirituality, then Garima would sometimes, my wife, she would sometimes have a bad day at work, you see. And this is the one instance which I really remember because I was really being a spiritual jerk at that time. You see. So what would happen then is that she would come from a bad day at work and say, this one said this to me, and this happened, and I asked them to get this done, and they were just not doing it. You see, these kind of things. And I said, I would say, so who is the I to whom all this is happening? You see? And she would get really upset because she was expecting to speak to her husband and vent out her problems. She was not even expecting solutions. You see? The other mistake that I've seen in relationships is that one can seem like is always offering solutions. You see? But actually, what they're looking for is just some understanding, some resonance that you had to go through this, and I'm really sorry you had a bad day. Instead of that, if you go in and say, can you investigate who is the one who had the bad day? You see, it can seem like a lack of compassion actually. And it might not be your intent. But when there is some specialness, like you mentioned, that I have something special, let me show her how we can, deal with life. When we have that kind of arrogance hidden somewhere, then all this can come in this way. Where, and actually, Adya said very beautifully once, Adya Shanti, he said, there could be that every word that you're saying is true. You see, it could be that every word that you're saying is true, but you could still be a jerk. You see? So So how is that possible? Only when we are not operating in the moment with resonance to what is. We're just trying to show that we have a solution or we have some better understanding of life or knowledge of life. You see? This does not mean that you have to become sheep and hide your own truth. You see? It's a fine balance in a way. You see? You don't have to be like sheep and say, no, no, I'm also caught up in my mind all the time. You see, this kind of thing. You don't have to say things like that. You can say that I found a lot of peace in discovering that I am beyond this body, beyond this mind. But there are many times in which I still identify as this. So you can be true to your truth and never put your partner down for her truth as she is experiencing at that point of time. So one time I even went to, before I met Guruji, I used to visit Ramesh Balsekar very often, you know this most probably. So at one time I even asked him, I said to him, this inquiry, who am I, coming to this recognition is bringing so much happiness here. But when I speak to my wife, she just doesn't want to do any of this. She doesn't understand what should I do. So he told me something which also helped a lot. He said, wait for her to come to you. And this is something that is true for any interaction in life, any relationship in life. See? And you'll find that usually I don't speak so much about these things unless I'm invited. So you'll find that that will really, really be something that will help in the relationship because, you know, our partners are always good at smelling where something is coming from. If they get a whiff of specialness or arrogance, then it can be very hurtful in any relationship. Let's hear something else. Let's see if you want to say something else.
Okay.
Do you feel like sharing something else?
Um, I I think it's good enough, and I mean, I still have these kind of like big expectation about this existing the thing called like the forever happy relationship. But anyway, I just be open and I listen to your advices, and also thank you, Father, for for this talk. So yeah.
If you cannot burden your relationship with too many expectations, because that can create a big burden. If your benchmark is really high, then when this squabbling happens, when some tension happens, when some trouble happens, then you can feel like you compare against that. You see? So I would even say just try to have a very normal, regular relationship. And if it turns out that it is the best forever relationship, then that is a great thing. You see? But if you put so much pressure on it and say that it has to be the world's best forever lasting, you see, unlike other relationships that you have seen, then it can create some sort of unnatural expectation from it. I know that when we are young, of course, everyone gets into a relationship hoping that it is going to be the best ever, you see, and that's not a bad thing. It's this feeling of the love that you're experiencing being the strongest that you can feel for anyone. All this is very good. Just in the way of how it should function on a day-to-day basis. Don't don't burden it with too much high expectation. And look at all of this as advice from a man with some gray hair, not necessarily spiritual advice, but just having gone through this phase in my life here, I can also offer this advice. Actually, at one time, Guruji was getting so many relationship questions in Tiruvannamalai that Guruji had a satsang on relationships. So see if you can find that. If you can't find, we'll look for you and we'll send to you. I don't know if you've seen that already, but there is a specific satsang Guruji had on relationships itself, so that he could tackle all the relationship questions in that satsang. And it is available on YouTube. And if you don't find it, we'll find it. Share. That should be very helpful as well. Smriti?
I know that I've been speaking to you about this 2 weeks ago or so, very similar, but I just want to speak from now experience again, because it seems like something maybe changed since then. So usually when I don't follow the thoughts and just stay as being, I usually just experience this peace, spaciousness, but sometimes it feels like I would like to experience this knowingness. It feels like this, you know?
Okay. So first let me repeat what you say so I'm clear. You say when I let go of my thoughts, don't follow them, and just remain with my presence, a lot of peace and joy can come. But I want to also experience a knowingness. See? Now, is this what you say?
Yeah, this knowingness which is not quality, you know? Yeah. It seems like in the past I had experience of this, but now I just feels like now it's different, you know?
Actually, all of what you said is included in that knowingness, isn't it? Because there is a knowingness of this presence, there is a knowingness of this existence, and there's a knowingness that in this existence, all these flavors are coming. Is that knowingness itself, does it have any quality when you look now? That which knows your existence, does that have any quality?
When you ask existence, I take it what I perceive, so that would be like peace and this space.
Okay, so let's look further. I say try to stop being. And there's a very natural sense which is beyond the sensation of peace and joy, just that I exist.
In that moment, I take what I exist is whatever I experience, and that would be peace.
But also you see that these experiences are coming and going and changing in quality moment by moment. That which is the basis for their coming and going, that being.
This one I want to explain. This one I want to, it feels like I want to really make only this pure and without any other attributes experience this, you know, which...
Yes, but it's more, you are having that experience, but more naturally than you think it should be. Because whether you say I am angry or whether you say I am peaceful, the I am is experience.
Without any quality.
Now, what you are saying is that there should be a condition that no other quality is arising.
Maybe because in the past I've been having these experiences when contemplating that I experience somehow myself as this non-qualityless, you know, completely. And now, and it felt like sometimes I can even move around and really be in this, like consciously experiencing this non-qualityness, you know. But now, speaking from now, so now it's not like that.
The trouble. You see, many times when we experience it without quality, we are like, where is the bliss? Where is the peace? You see, it is supposed to come with Ananda. Now, because you have been in that recognition of what you are, naturally there's some peace and some joy is coming.
It's coming, but I don't want to. It feels like I'm not. I just don't want to. Like, because peace can come and go throughout the day. The spaciousness can come and go. So I don't really want to say, oh, that's fine with me, you know, just peace and this, because many times throughout the day I feel I don't feel this. I feel different stuff, you know. And
so sometimes there is peace, sometimes there is no peace, or some other sensation, some other.
And it's fine actually, even when it's only there's no peace, and it's totally fine.
Yes.
There is only body, a lot of attention on the body. It's fine. Even experiencing thoughts is fine. But
so when there is no peace, if you were to ask yourself, can I stop being?
That would be, then I would be asking, can this body stop being?
So suppose that, are you saying that your being includes just the sensations of this body? Or there is something more basic than that, something more fundamental?
In those moments when attention is on the body, is experienced that that's all there is.
Okay, so let's come back to now. Are you aware that you exist?
Straight away, attention goes to what is experienced in the spaciousness.
And that's fine. Let it go wherever it
subtle
comes.
body sensations, yeah, it's fine. So
include everything. Wherever attention goes, it is fine. And are you aware of your existence?
like, do I experience with spaciousness in the subtle body experience?
Whatever the experience might be.
Yes, I experience. Yeah.
You are aware of this experience? Whatever you might be perceiving, you are aware of the perception, isn't it?
In this moment, the awareness, and when you ask where, I take it to be, so for some reason only do I experience. Like,
Yes,
I cannot say what is awareness at the moment.
And that's fine. Okay, that's fine. In this moment, there is an experience. Now that experience went away, and even that you are aware of, like the sound of the ambulance was an experience that you were aware of. Now you see that there is no experience like that sound of ambulance. So that awareness is not gone, but that experience is gone.
Yeah, no, it's more subtle. It's like, again, the outcome of it's very light in the body of what I speak in those here. But so usually I refer a lot of the outcome of what is being guided, you know, to me.
So my advice would be to, as much as possible, don't bother with the outcome. Don't bother with the outcome, because that will become a habit, and you'll keep looking at the coconut.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
keep looking at the coconut and saying what's happening to the ocean. So you're aware of experiences, and you're aware even when that experience goes away. This that is aware, is that itself an experience? Like one way to say it is, you are aware of the experience. You see? That experience is not aware of you. This you that is aware of the experience, what is the taste of that?
It's just this knowingness, but without explanation somehow, like
This knowingness, but
without explanation how it is known.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Something wants to settle on it and like experience it, but it's never possible.
Yes, because there is no phenomenal taste of this knowingness. It is really a non-experiential experience, the only one we can have. I am aware, which means that I am aware that awareness is here. And this awareness has no taste, has no quality, has no attribute.
But somehow it is known now.
Yes.
But in other times it is not known. It's only experience that is known.
Yes. Good. So then you keep coming to Satsang. You're not seeing my hand.
So this knowingness will become more apparent.
Don't worry about it.
Or
if you start keeping track, it's just going to become more oppressive, this tracking.
Yeah. So now throughout the day, when I'm into this, when I have time, when I feel like I have nothing to do and I just want to do nothing, or no, more actually when I'm actually in the body, more I'm really experiencing this body sensations and what is the best way of because the moment it's more in a good way in back in my memory whenever I experience something really deeply in the body, but no, it's not true, and somehow it helps as well. It's not true what you experience. The deeper truth is actually has been experienced. It's somehow known, but not as now known. Like we just did.
This is what you're finding as your insight in Satsang. You'll find that these insights don't actually leave you. When I said don't worry about it was because sometimes we become very feverish about that. We become very this thing that this should not leave and I'm doing something wrong. You will see that just a natural expansion will happen. That's why that when we are in Satsang, actually most of the things I'm saying is to come to this insight. And that much itself is more than enough in a day.
It's true, and it actually, after you can spend the whole day or even the week, and there is just deep knowing, even without experiencing it or something. You can experience whatever. It's just deep knowing that everything is fine and all of this. So just basically confirming this more and more.
At least during the time that you're in Satsang itself is more than enough. But whenever it feels natural and not too forceful, even in the rest of the day, because many I feel are also struggling with this saying that, oh no, in the middle of a relationship issue, then we're trying to force too much, like I'm the self, I'm the self, like that. Only when it feels natural, light and easy. And then you'll see that I'm always just this, all of this movement of the world and what is spoken in his mouth and the phenomenal experiences which are being had, all of this are just on the surface. So it will become more and more natural.
And it feels like sometimes it's good to confirm like that. Even now it's confirmed, but sometimes it's just, you know. And
It's very, whenever it feels light, natural.
yeah.
And you can always come. Don't feel like, oh, but I just asked him.
Yes.
You want to come tomorrow, you can come again. Thank you. Idea?
In contribution to that,
Yes.
you said that you don't have to forcefully but also at the same time,
They can't hear you.
you have said
You will have to transcribe this.
You said that you don't have to forcefully move your attention to a particular it's fine. But at the same time, you have said that this unchanging deserves more of our
Yes,
attention. So
I'm saying at least in satsang. You see, let's take that time, because what happens is many times we also come to satsang and we want to deal just with the phenomenal aspect of ourselves and looking for solutions for that. So my invitation many times I started saying this in the beginning of satsang, is that at least for time of satsang, let's give this some attention, let's give some time to this.
So my question is after satsang in general. So sometimes there is a spontaneous urge to watch a Guruji's videos, and it's fine. And sometimes there is a little effort to move away from other things, other distractions, and do that. So
yeah, little effort is okay, as long as it's not like a fight.
yes.
Don't have to, because otherwise what can happen is the mind can create this like counter position, and there can be a relation of this like sense of negativity with the inquiry and things like that. It can become like part of our condition.
Yeah, but I have seen that there is a, when you say that you don't have to do any effort at all, mind takes up that position,
That also.
then don't do this, do something else at all. So just wanted to clarify that.
Yes. Our inwardly, as our longing is for the truth, we will be guided in the right way, moment to moment. Actually, there is no real template for how this is to be. But mostly a rule is that if anything makes you feel guilty, unworthy, that you're doing a bad job, you're not doing it well enough, you're not devoted enough to the inquiry, you're not pushing enough for the truth, these kind of concepts can safely be thrown away. That's what I'm saying. That many times we can get into this kind of relationship with it.
Not exactly all of this, but sometimes this feeling comes that I could be doing that, could be watching something, so which makes me so peaceful rather than watching a video on YouTube and all that. So yeah, initially there was some when you said that you don't have to do any effort, then I would go with that. But
And
lately,
what I'm mostly recommending is don't be hard on yourself. Like, treat this one also like your child. Okay? Sometimes as a parent, when children are asking for cakes and sweets, you know that better to eat quinoa and salad. But sometimes you indulge, okay, have.
yes.
Not so rigid about, I should only be watching satsang. I should not become like that. But just like, treat, in some way, some sort of guidance which is coming now is to say, treat the life of these sages as the life of your child. Sometimes indulge, sometimes no. Then you will see that anyway you are starting to see already that all these movements are happening on their own, and the one that is claiming some control is truly not. But I know that as long as it seems like we have some choice, it seems like I can do something, we can move towards a higher choice. But if you do sometimes indulge in something which seems like the lower choice, best to forget about it and meet yourself fresh in that moment.
Yeah. Initially, I had taken that your words of not making an effort in a wrong way. Now, what I
Yeah,
understand.
because that's why I've been clarifying also over the past few weeks that it's more not applicable than to do or not to do. Okay? The neutrality which I'm speaking of is not applicable than saying, should I do this or not do this? The mind only understands these opposites. They're saying that you don't have to do anything, so therefore I will not do. You see? Like somebody came to Guruji also once and said, but I'm not the doer, why are you asking me to do the inquiry? You see? So it can become like a position of not doing. That's why non-doership as an independent teaching can be quite confusing. Because like, oh, I'm just not going to do anything spiritual. I'm just going to, watch TV and sit on my bed. But sitting on the bed is also a doing. See, the not doing is also a doing. So till we come to that place of neutrality, to see that I'm just a witness of all of this movement, and all of this movement is happening in the light of my being. Till then, if it feels like we have a choice, then make the choice to not believe the next thought. It's the simplest choice I feel they can make. Easy. And if you're empty of notion, then even the opposite position will not be taken. Then we come to just this witnessing. What should I do next? If it's, oh, Ananta said, don't have to do, so I can watch a movie, but that's also a notion. Because we are empty of all of those notions. Sometimes inquiry happens, sometimes movie happens, and it's all seen to be just happening.
It's very light now, but initially I had taken it in the wrong way.
And that's also grace,
Yes.
because it makes a deeper investigation or deeper contemplation possible. Well, when you are doing this, the first time we hear you're not the doer, we feel like, this is very cool, I don't have to, but this is also a doing. You're doing the not doing. You know what I mean? In the world, in the phenomenal world, is a world of activities. Activity is unceasing. Even sitting down is an activity. Even lying down is an activity. So activities are unceasing. It is the sense of whether I'm doing or not doing the activity, which is blown up in a way. Because that individual I had these attributes, doing, desiring, all of this stuff. Now it is not there. You see that all doing or not doing is part of the activity of the world, and all the activities of the world are happening naturally in the light of consciousness. This one is like, I got my answer now. I confuse myself with anything else. Switch off.
I know that.
So Dharma points out that there are 3 satsangs, Guruji, about relationships. There's one more that happened in Rishikesh, and also recently one in Monte Sahaja. So now, I read this message earlier when they said closer and louder. They just.
That's an always message.
You need to probably find
We
it.
fix the mic
Okay, that's good.
tomorrow.
Okay, good for today. Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai.
Sadguru Shri Ananta Ji ki Jai.
Only one side is told. But what I want to say was, do you want to sing your thing? The thing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe not today.
No? Not so good? Okay. We have some special thing that Govind will remind me.
Awesome.
So not today.